Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update. This is Monday, February 17. On the heels of the island's fifth murder at the weekend, the Royal Barbados Police Force assures Barbadians it's on top of bringing perpetrators to justice. At a news conference this morning, Acting Commissioner of Police Erwin Boyce says officers have already solved 3 of the 5 murders and another breakthrough is on the way.
We have 5 and we have solved 3, Mr. Boyce?
Yes, 3 solved.
Yeah, 3 so far for the year. And the possibility exists that we might solve the 4th in not too distant time. What can I tell the Barbadians? I can tell the Barbadians that the police understand their situation, the police understand their thinking, the police has been listening to what the Barbadians are saying, the public is saying, and the police has also been very conscious of what is shared on social media and what is shared in the media. The reassurance I want to give to Barbadians is that we have never taken off our gloves in the fight of crime, and we will never take off our gloves in the fight of crime.
Commissioner Boyce disclosed that 40 of the 49 murders recorded last year have been solved. He insisted that his officers are bent on ensuring that criminals do not disrupt the Barbadian way of life.
That we give the level of response and the level of commitment to solving all matters, especially the ones that can create, make society uncomfortable or create anxiety. We have, as I said when I was speaking to Hastings, we have a suite of strategies that some are short-term, some are long-term, and some are strategic, medium-term. And as long as the Barbadian public cooperate with us in providing us with the kind of information, in providing us with the level of support, I can assure you that you have a police force who is dedicated to giving you the best results.
Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago today inch closer to jointly exploring their oil and gas resources. Prime Minister Mia Mottley and Dr. Keith Rowley signed the second phase of a shared economic zone agreement which will facilitate deep water exploration near the maritime boundaries of both countries. Dr. Rowley told reporters the agreement is a big step.
What we have just done here a moment ago between Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados, where Trinidad's acreage is now being exploited, the seismic work is being done, the exploration wells are being drilled right up to the Barbados border. We are now saying, in the event that we do find hydrocarbons across in Barbados, and also in the event that the company is doing seismic work, it will do it into Barbados territory, and from Barbados into Trinidad and Tobago's territory. And of course, if God smiles on us and we do find hydrocarbons, oil or gas, probably most likely gas, that we have now this moment agreed to operate on a unitized basis, that the two countries will work together, designate the operators for such a resource, and very quickly we can move towards its exploitation as long as what we have found is commercially viable.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley used the occasion to press her Caribbean counterparts to deepen cooperation on energy matters.
We recognize that as we go into the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting tomorrow, that we would like to be able to see greater cooperation within the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas on the areas of energy, be it fossil fuel related energy or be it renewable energy, as we face the existential threat of climate crisis. Against that background, Trinidad has always had the lead on the Energy Task Force, and we are very supportive of them continuing. And I hope that during the course of the next few months that we will be in a position to recommend to heads a framework, because as we currently speak, the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas only refers to energy, perhaps I think in one specific sentence that is substantive, and that is simply that we will do our best to exploit the resources.
The Ministry of Health is assuring schools, businesses and residents in the vicinity of the isolation center at Enmore Colmarock St. Michael that the area remains safe. Word of this from Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Kenneth George, who was responding today to concerns raised by some members of the public after the center was identified as a facility where anyone arriving in Barbados with symptoms related to the coronavirus would be placed in isolation and treated. Dr. George explained that much attention has been paid to safety and security at the facility. He pointed out that it has a double filtration system that also involves an ultraviolet filtration system, and these combined to make sure that all the air emanating from the facility is safe. He noted that there are also biosecurity features which relate to the movement of staff and patients into and out of the facility.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Root Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
On to regional happenings, Jamaica Teachers Association and the National Secondary Student Council are both condemning the latest social media trend, Skull Breaker, also known as the Jump Trip Challenge. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
Another attempt at the Jump Trip Challenge.
Yeah, man. Interested? Sure.
John, you know.
What you mean?
Let's jump.
Let's jump.
Or so it appears. These are representatives from the National Secondary Students Council NSSC condemning the deadly online challenge Jump Trip, Skull Breaker or Tripping Jump.
What did you think was going to happen?
I know that ridiculous jump trip challenge. How ridiculous. Broken leg, arm, severe spinal damage that can lead to death. This needs to stop. I repeat, this needs to stop.
Yo, I hear that thing that.
Already, the Education Ministry has urged schools to crack down on the challenge after a Meadowbrook student broke his hand because of the challenge. The Jamaica Teachers Association is also warning against the risky prank.
The Jamaica Teachers Association is at this time deeply concerned and indeed disturbed by the infamous tripping jump challenge perpetrated by unthinking and uncaring students in our schools. We see it as a deadly threat to safety and security in our schools at a time when we are seeking to make our schools into safe zones which are conducive to teaching and learning. We call on our students to immediately cease partaking in this practice.
On the international scene, more than 300 American cruise liner passengers, including 14 who tested positive for the coronavirus, were flown home to military bases in the United States after 2 weeks under quarantine just off Japan. More in this report from Reuters Television.
These images show passengers on board the Diamond Princess being cleared to disembark the ship after being detained at a Japanese port for 2 weeks. Wearing surgical masks as they loaded buses, with workers in head-to-toe protective gear, before boarding 2 chartered jets that flew them to the U.S. 14 people tested positive for the virus while on the way back. They were isolated in specialized containment areas on the planes. 1 jet landed Sunday night at Travis Air Force Base in California, the other at Joint Base San Antonio in Texas. The passengers will remain under quarantine another 14 days. China, where the virus originated, has confirmed 44,000 cases of coronavirus, also called COVID-19, including over 1,770 deaths, the Director General of the World Health Organization said Monday.
The data also appear to show a decline in new cases. This trend must be interpreted very cautiously. Trends can change as new populations are affected. It's too early to tell if this reported decline will continue. Every scenario is still on the table.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.